Curtis, I got to ask you, there's a lot of different unique vocabulary terms that you use on the air, in the hallways here at 77 WABC. One of them is La Cuca La Munga. And I just had to ask you, what does that mean, La Cuca La Munga?
First off, many, many years ago, I created Sliwonics. It's a language of Sliwa-isms. So it's malaprops, spoonerisms, fractured phrases that I've created over the years. I've been doing this 35 years, talk radio. So you have to determine first if I just made it up, if it was a slip of the lip, or if, in fact, it is a real word. You've got three choices. And remember, this is based on the past. You had Dr. Irwin Corey, who created a whole career out of this. The malaprops, the spoonerisms, the fractured phrases. Noam Cosby. These were like traditional guests, with Johnny Carson. And Johnny Carson was trying to figure out, did they just make that up? Was it a slip of the lip? Or in fact, let's go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary now, Ed McMahon. Let's see if that's a real term. So guess what? You are a Kukalamunga.
I'm a La Kukalamunga.
You are a Kukalamunga.
Okay.
Notice it starts out with the word kook. You can pretty much figure out the rest of it. And in addition, I'm going to give you another term that fits you like a glove. Herkimajerk. You are a herkimajerk because you're a hillbilly boy. You're like a survivor, a three-eyed cousin fornicator who lives in a trailer camp in Bloomfield, New Jersey, right? Am I right or wrong?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? You're absolutely right. That's exactly how I live.
Well, you opened up the door, and now the tsunami of Sliwonics, the Sliwa-isms.
Well, I mean, look, there's a Cucamonga album.
Nope.
Compilation involving Frank Zappa. And
No. Hey, 600 motels.
Cucamonga Peak in the San Gabriel Mountains.
Oh, come on. I hate that part of California.
There's a winery, which was in business from 1933 until 1975, Cucamonga Winery.
Yeah, that's probably Frank Morano where he hangs out, that lush.
Okay, and then there's Rancho Cucamonga, an 1839 Mexican land grant.
Now that's close. Rancho La Cuca La Munga. Vaya, amigo. But anyway, let's get back on track because you're having fun. You're having fun with my Sliwonics, my slip of the lips, my Sliwa-isms, my malaprops, my fractured phrases, and, of course, my spoonerisms. Let's get down to brass tacks. So they were highly organized today, the supporters of Hamas. They were meeting down at City Hall, 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock. And naturally, they had an entourage who came out of City Hall, members of the city council. Yay! Brad Land, the controller. Yay! Jumaane Williams, public advocate. Yay! Pro-Hamas, pro-Hamas. Go do your duty, demonstrators. And they split up into four groups, right? Three of them went in the direction where the NYPD was in charge. The Brooklyn Bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge. So they blocked every exit that would take you to going towards Brooklyn. They didn't get too greedy and try to block both, the entry point into Manhattan and the exit point. But the biggest group walked over to the Holland Tunnel, which is right near City Hall. And guess what? Once again, the Port Authority police proved they can do it better than the NYPD. Not because they're better cops or better trained, but they don't have a restraint order hanging over their head that was signed by either the governor of the state of New Jersey, Half-in-the-Bag Murphy, or Crime Wave Kathy Holcomb. They're in charge of the Port Authority police. Rather, the NYPD is restricted because Eric Adams, the former cop, the house mouse, a guy who spent his time as a computer programmer with the transit police, taking paperwork in the records room and putting it on a floppy disk. Wow, that was tough duty. Signed a consent order and decree that prevents the police from putting their hands on the demonstrators. And because he gave so much money to Black Lives Matter and Antifa as a result of the demonstrations of the summer of 2020, the cops are afraid to do anything on the NYPD side. Whereas, notice, the Port Authority, in less than an hour, 120 arrests. They had them sitting down on the curb. Everybody driving into the Holland Tunnel could see, wow, the cops are in charge. Whereas all of a sudden on the Manhattan Bridge, Wilkham Bridge, and the Williamsburg Bridge, they were playing like cat and mouse. The demonstrators would lead, and then the cops would follow. Sabe? Do you understand? Kabish? Kabish?
I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, but
you
I do have to say...
you herkimajerk.
I'm just telling you that the New York Post has a report that says the Brooklyn Bridge was reopened to traffic by 10:45.
Oh, and you know how many
and those
demonstrators?
were New York City cops.
40 demonstrators tried to close the Brooklyn Bridge. 40.
Right.
They made 120 arrests, the Port Authority police at the Holland Tunnel. They had at least 200 demonstrators. Tell me who does it better, right? The Port Authority police. Not because they're better cops, because they don't have the restraints and constraints that Eric Adams has put on the NYPD.
But I did have the soundbite a couple hours ago from Lisa Zornberg, the city council, saying that the consent decree does not allow for infrastructure to be blocked.
Excuse me, Lisa Zornberg is a liar for hire. She is the corporation counsel. She is the apologist for Eric Adams. You know, do me a favor, James Flippin. Get the hell out of here, you herkimajerk, you kookalamunga.